my name's Emmy-lou and I'm going to teach you how to do a swan today. Abigail wanted me to show her, like I'm sure most of you. Got chalk on my face. I wanted to show you a swan that I've painted. So I've turned them into greeting cards. That's a really nice one. That sells really well. And that one's really nice because there's two swans and when they find each other they stay together forever. So that's really, really lovely. And we're going to draw one swan. What I want to do is I'm going to get an old toothbrush, and we're going to paint it with an old toothbrush. We do not have to use a toothbrush, we could use something else, just a paintbrush, but I thought it'd be quite fun to try a toothbrush. Has to be an old one though that you don't want to use on your teeth. Okay, pencil, paper, let's go. So, think jelly bean. We're going to do a big jelly bean and it's going to go there. I don't know if you can see I've roughly drawn it already just to help you see the proportion. So we've got the jelly bean there. And then touch the top of the jelly bean, just touch the top and you're going to go down. So touch the top of the jelly bean, down, and then a little flick at the end if you can. Bit like it reminds me of a tadpole a little bit. And then where you've got this, just go down a bit, touch about there, because you want it quite chunky. And you're going to go, can you see how I'm not just going, it's going to be like a snake. So it's like chunky going down. Might take a few attempts to do this because it might be a bit tricky, but just give it a go. Don't worry too much, it will be fine. And what you want to do before you do anything else is we're going to rub out this line. So we don't need that line anymore. There's lots of different swans. I saw a gorgeous, gorgeous baby swan and it's called a cygnet. And there's 3 of them where I live and they're fluffy and grey. They're just so cute. And then they've got the mummy and the daddy ones, or you know, the 2 adults. So they're white. You can have black swans. And you've got grey baby ones. You could do a purple swan if you like. So what I'm going to do now, really easy, is touch about there and go out. So kind of down. Then you're going to go a bit roundy and go up. So it reminds me a little bit of like an ice cream cone. So just think simple, ice cream cone or a triangle if it helps you. Then touch that bit there and you're going to go up. Now you want to draw a tummy of a capital D, but don't connect it there. So you're going tummy of a capital D. It's like you've done a capital D there, if you've seen this from the right angle. Might look like a C with a line if you're seeing it back to front of the video, but just see how you get on. Then you want to go to the end and do a U shape. So you're doing a U shape. Then, big U there. So can you see, I've done a big U that connects it. I might show you close up because it's a bit tricky otherwise. So I've done the D, then I've done the U, and then a big U there. Just try it and see how you get on. Doesn't matter if it looks a bit strange, it's all part of the learning. And then, you know where you've got that little bit there? You're just going to touch the U. So what you rub out now is really important because it will make more sense now when you rub it out. You rub out this little bit there. And then you rub out this line that's in the beak. So you're rubbing out all this. Probably makes more sense to you now, I reckon. Now swans seem to have a little bit of black there at the end of their nose and then a little bit of black there. So we can add that little line if we want because then we can put that in later. And then you've got the big bit near the face. So all that is touch up here, go up, up, up. And you're going to do a wobbly line like that. Where the D is, you're going to go there and meet it. You're meeting it and you're now going to do an eye. So if you want to do a cartoon eye, that would be kind of cute. Don't have to though. You could do any eye you like. An eye like that's quite nice, isn't it? But most of it's black around him or her. So then we're going to do the back now. The back, they've got a really big back. I saw the swans the wings, they did their wings, they opened their wings. It was gorgeous yesterday. It was so amazing to see. So if you think about that's your neck, just go about there, just touch about there, and you're going to go round like a rainbow. But then after you've done the round like a rainbow, you're just going to do another rainbow. So it's like you're doing 2 rainbows. Then you're just going to join that, like make it longer, a little bit longer, that bit, and then you're going to do this. So that's like the back of the swan, and then you're going to do the tail. All the tail is that. Do not worry, because we're going to put all the paint on. And then here we can do a little bit of feathers. I don't think it matters too much, the feathers, because we're going to create the feathers with the toothbrush. So it's in the water, because I quite like to put it in the water. So you could just do a really cool water line, or straight line if you want, doesn't matter. Now we're going to colour in, but I want to use chalk, pastel, watercolour, paint, whatever you want to use, you can just use. But I'm going to use a chalk orange. So whatever orange you have, you might have an orange that's felt tip, you can use that. So the orange is just going to go here. It's quite nice to have a bright orange. Mine's quite a nice orange, but you could have a darker orange. I've got quite a lot of oranges, so I'd put a bit of dark, a bit of light. I quite like to do different types of colour on the same thing. So if I've got an orange, I like to use 2 oranges. And if I've got blues, I like to use 2 blues. Now, the swan is mostly white with a bit of black, depending on what colour you're doing. I'm just doing a white swan for now. But all of this is black, which you've got to be a bit careful with because it can get a bit smudgy. So I'm going to draw round this bit. This bit's the black bit of the swan. You've got to be super careful when you colour this in, because mine gets a little bit messy. So I'm almost covering most of the eye up, which I think looks more realistic. Then he's got a little bit. Oh man, can you see how messy it gets? I'm outlining the beak. Oh, there's messy, but try not to think about that or look at that. And then I might just do a line. So I'm going to smudge now. Smudge away. If you've done a small drawing, it's going to be hard to smudge. I'd probably say watercolour pencils might be, I think, easier to use, but you could just have a go and do it with chalk, it's fine. So we've got the black there, which looks really nice. Now you can finish off colouring the whole thing with a black outline if you want and just keep it like that. You could do this, so you don't have to use a toothbrush, but if you want to. So this is without the toothbrush, so I'm just outlining it in black. And then I'm going to smudge in, because it's white, but by outlining it in black or grey even, grey might be a better one, it's kind of had the effect of the neck. Yeah, do you know what, I'd probably do, I don't know, it depends what background you're having. I quite like black, but grey might make it look a bit lighter. But the body, I'm deciding what I'm going to do actually. I'm going to do that in black, that in black. Right, because what you want to do is make him look fluffy, like feathery, but it's tricky to get that look with just, well, it's not tricky, but with chalk it's not always easy. So I'm going to get my toothbrush that I'm no longer using, and I'm going to get white and a bit of black. Wish me luck. So I'm going to dip it in the black, guys. I'm going to dip it in the black. If you don't want to use a toothbrush, don't use a toothbrush, just use the chalk. And I'm going to, oh, it's quite wet, isn't it? I'm just going to do a bit of black. Do you know what? I might have to... Oh no. Hang on, my phone just rang. I thought I turned the phone off. Ah! Just ignore that. always happens, I think. You're about to do something and you're like, oh no. So I'm getting the white now on my toothbrush. And can you see if it rings again? Because I've turned it off, but it seems to want to ring when it's on the internet. Wow. So I am trying, I might have to lift it up if I'm honest. Gonna lift it up to do, and I'm only using the black to create the feathers. So I'm taking black and white on my brush. It's quite fun actually. My white is like super chunky. And don't worry if you go near the water's edge, because you're going to paint over that, so it's fine. If you don't use black, you can't really see the lines of the feathers. So we could go a little bit up here as well if we want. It's quite a nice experiment. I just love experimenting. I haven't tried this before, so it's quite nice to just to see what happens. If it's not what you want, it doesn't matter. It's good if you see me try it, because then you can decide if you want it. I quite like that feather look, if I'm honest. What you could do is not put as much paint and just do that with the brush. Quite like the look you get. And when it's dry, because the awesome thing about paint, so I'm just going to stop now, because you could do a background with different colours as well, but I'm just going to stop because I want to show you that I can still, once it's dry, I can still do the chalk. I'm doing the chalk wet just to show you, but once it's dry you can do the chalk over it and you can smudge it in. So that will look really, really cool. But I quite like that. I think that looks really cool, and you can do the wings. You can work into it over the paint with the chalk, and if you want to make it look like there's light things, you can put a bit of white there to make it look like it's kind of shiny almost. Then the water. So I'm going to just do this. No. You could do really cool green and blue water and just smudge. That'd be nice. Or you could even do it with your toothbrush if you want. So there, guys, is my swan. I think to make the swan look like it's standing out, you could literally get a different colour. It doesn't have to be a realistic scene. It could just be a colourful picture of the swan just in the background. So I've got like a pink. It's all going a bit wrong today, isn't it, with my video? And my phone's rang, my computer's getting hot, my paint's not drying, but you know what? I'm still doing it anyway because I quite like my swan. So have a go, guys, see how you feel. I'm gonna just, I've got like the crunchiest blue for some reason, and then you could put some waves in there. It's quite nice to outline the water, I think, and just smudge. I do believe I've got pastel on my nose. Yeah, okay. So guys, have some fun with that and see how you get on. Let me know how you do. Send me a picture. There's lots of swans out at the moment, so it would be nice to maybe go out to the park, have a look at the swans, take a picture of them, come back and maybe paint them. So yeah, just going to add some more white. You could literally just spend hours adding more each time, but it's just a fun thing to try, to paint with something slightly different. And also, you can, I think you can do that. I probably won't do it for this one. We'll do it for another project. Okay, have fun and enjoy, and I will see you tomorrow. I think we're going to do a beaver. We're really cool. Okay, speak to you soon.